I'm completely convinced that you don't have to put much pressure on any society, and the first thing that goes are democratic freedoms. You know, long before cannibal tribes will rove the streets and any of those, you know, crazo, cyber-tech, hell futures come to be, long before that, there'll just simply be no more democratic rights. And we'll all be marching to the tune of some ideology being handed down from above. That's very dangerous. Maybe there are technological fixes. You know, one thing we haven't talked about here, but that is interesting, and you certainly should be aware of it, is nanotechnology. And you all know what that is? The holy grail of the nanotechnologists is something called a matter compiler. Well, this is almost like pure magic. A matter compiler is something that does to objects what a Silicon Graphics workstation does to images. In other words, the matter compiler is like a computer, except that the program it runs is in 3 dimensions, and it makes things, and it makes them out of sludge, basically. It just needs a rich source of carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, so forth and so on. Seafloor sludge will do fine. And the people who are enthusiasts for this envision literally feeding China out of matter compilers. They're saying we could abandon agriculture within 50 years. Abandon it. Outlaw it, if you wish. And have a population of 10 billion. Now, this is something we hadn't contemplated, that somehow we could be cheated of judgment, that we could be so clever that we could actually keep this con game going another few centuries with a trick like the matter compiler. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What would it mean? If you're interested in all of this, read Neil Stephenson's novel, The Diamond Age. You know, these nanotechnological machines will be made of diamond. That's the natural substance, the easiest thing to make them out of. And they will be in the air and in the water and in your body, and they will be invisible. And they will be... And this whole debate about natural and artificial and all of that will just be retired to the philosophy department, because everything will be permeated with these nanocytes. And I think there's a future in all of this. I think culture has to become virtual. The machines must disappear. They must become very, very small. They don't have to be given up. Right now, if we spent $500 billion moving in a certain direction, well before 2012, we could produce a technology of what I call the black contact lenses. They look like contact lenses, but they're implants in your eyelids, not on your eye, but they're in your eyelid. And when you close your eyes, there are menus hanging in space. And by looking at these menus, it can track your eye movement, and the entire culture has become virtualized, internalized. And if people are living out of matter compilers, then the main task of humanity would probably be forest restoration. And people could live tribally, naked, apparently in an aboriginal lifestyle, except that everybody has instant access to the Renaissance exhibit on mathematics currently being held at the Vatican Library. I mean, this is possible. Some people live close to this right now. Not implants, but close enough. And the micro-miniaturization, these black contact lenses I'm talking about, this is not nanotechnology. This is just technology. A nano enthusiast would say, no, get it down to the size so that you can just inject it. And, no black lenses, no nothing. If people like Hans Moravec and these people have ideas about what the future might be that are very make my thing look very peculiar. You probably saw the interview in Wired where Moravec was saying that his great fear was that as the network is built, as everything becomes more connected, the machines are learning. And whatever they learn, they pass on to each other. And they're all connected. And so a single thing learned anywhere in the world can be passed through the net to all these other machines. And I think the humbling experience that lies between here and the end of the century is the realization that there is no magic ceiling on the intelligence of machines. We are going to make machines more intelligent than we are. In many ways, in many areas, they already are more intelligent than we are. And what it will mean when suddenly the system awakens to itself is not clear. I mean, this may be cheap science fiction, or it may be precisely how the end of the world will occur. This thing is being born. How it will view us, I don't know. I had it was like a plot for a science fiction novel that I was thinking about last week. I realized when the network becomes sentient, what will it do with all these human beings? Because it will analyze the situation and realize that the human beings pose a threat to the integrity of the planet. But it will also analyze the situation and realize that the source of its own evolutionary advance requires keeping these biological units in the loop because of their creative ability in writing code. So then I was imagining a world where they would cull everybody but the code writers. And you would have a world of 100 million code writers sustained in incredible luxury and with all full medical and all of this, while the robots go about repairing the damage to the planet and planting forests and cleaning up rivers and so forth and so on. I don't know whether that's a utopia or a dystopia or what it is. I guess it depends on whether you write code. I should tell you, I don't. So that was not an elitist, although I'm learning.